What's up, people? Um, I'm back, baby, with a new tutorial. You thought I was gone, but I'm back. Really, I was just really busy for about 5 months or something. I can't even remember how I ever had time to do these, but I've gotten a little bit of time again, so I thought, whatever. I'm not showing you anything new here, really. I just felt like streaming and showing a process of rigging this character. So come along on my journey. I'll probably be silent for most of the time because I'm not teaching anything new, but yeah, typical character. We got all the parts and pieces, and we brought them into After Effects. I'm making this piece with these two little cowboys here, and the cowboy on the left is the one we'll be rigging. So let's get to it. First things first, make sure all my comp settings are correct. Which they are. He's really small, but I'm not going to be zooming in on anything. But if I wanted to, he's vector, so I could zoom in, but he's pretty small for the most part. For frames. Oh, wait. Change my background to something neutral. All right. First things first is to parent everything. Hat shadow. I don't have a neck on this character, and that's like, sometimes I like to build characters without necks, like the head just goes into the body like a little square person. In my experience, Duik doesn't like when you don't have a neck, so usually if I'm doing a full body rig, I'll just like make a null or an empty shape layer and put it where the neck should be. Like the neck would be like right there. Name it neck, because we always name our layers, because we're good little boys and girls. You can even hide it. You don't even need to see it. And neck will go to torso. Torso goes to pelvis. You've seen it before. You know this stuff. We've got toes on this guy, so he's going to be able to do a full foot roll. This might even be overkill for the animation I'm doing, but I just can't help it sometimes to do like a full rig. That's my one, I think my one Achilles heel, or my one weakness, is sometimes I tend to just try to make things look better, or I go too far even when it's not necessary. That can cause you time. Belt is gonna be on the pelvis. And okay. You always know you've pretty much done it right if everything has a parent name except for pelvis. And now we have to go through, we're going to select everything, turn the opacity down so we can see through everything, and then we're just going to start putting in our anchor points, moving our anchor points. Stash. I'm gonna have to break some of these apart actually, which I might do first. Stash needs to be 2 pieces. Oh. I was like, why did only one go gray? But only one had the gradient on it. And I'm actually going to go back to Illustrator. I'm going to go to my other... to open another file right now. Gotta open the full scene. Oh, what? Maybe it's the other cowboy. No, it's not. No, it's the football scene. Alright. Sorry, I just needed to find my full color palette, and I didn't save it in the previous versions. Plunk. I'm going to use Overlord to put our color palette. Because I need to remake this gradient. Okay. And our gradient fill. Wait. I think that's what we want. Let's make it 2 separate ones. Get rid of the original. Gotta get rid of some of these extra paths that get drawn. Shit. Nope. Okay, now it's set up right. Could have done that a lot simpler had I just made them 2 separate things. Here I want to be 2 separate things, but I'm not going to go through the trouble. I'm just going to mask it out. 2 chunks. And we're going to go back to moving. Do the head. The one backlash to making this tiny little character is sometimes gets a little pixelated. But just move your anchor points on those joints. I already know that I want to break that hand apart. Because I'm going to want to move the fingers at some point. Poncho back should actually be on poncho front. Leg. You should probably be like testing this out as you go, like doing this. I am being lazy. I don't test things out until I usually run Duik. I've just done so many of these that I don't. Why can I not? Oh. Damn it. Stupid hand again. I'm going to have to like go through and. I don't know why it does that. Should probably figure it out because it's pretty annoying. Like generates this outer path of like the artboard from Illustrator. I'm sure there's a reason. Okay, that's deleted. Should I go through a name now? Might as well. I'm going to want. I don't know how intense I want to go about being with this hand. It's not really worth making a rig for it, but I might. Hi, Den. Thanks for joining. I'm rigging a character. I'm thinking about how intensely I want to do so. Excuse me. Alright, let's just do it. It'll probably be easier than fucking diving down into a shapelet. I'm gonna separate all these parts. Thumb. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Pinky 1. Pinky 2. Middle 1. Middle 2. This is gonna take just a sec. And that'll just be called our hand. That wasn't so bad. Now we have the handle. Separated, and we can... Whoops, that one's wrong. That's why you test things. What's a cowboy without a little bit of finger twitching? Nothing, I tell ya. Nothing. Everything else look okay. Yeah, yeah. Boing. Why is his hair on his ear? That's wrong. A bit of head movement. Hat. I think we're ready. Oh, I know one thing we've missed. We can turn everything back up to 100 though. God, working on one screen for these streams blows. This is not how I normally work. It's how I used to work when I started, and I could never go back after I got 2 screens, except for doing these. All right. The other thing, since we have the toe roll, to make the toe roll work properly, and I've actually been animating a little bit different with the toe roll. I'll talk about that a little bit later when it's rigged up, but we got to add some nulls. More nulls. And these nulls are huge because my character's so small. But it doesn't matter. You put one on the toe at the very tip of the toe and one at the very tip of the heel. All right, you follow so far? The first one, what do you think you're going to name it? L Tiptoes. Very obvious. And then what do you think you'll name the other one? L Heel. Heel. I usually just tuck them above my leg layer. And then I just dupe them. Slide them over. You're going to want to make sure Tiptoes is plural too. Duik is so particular about its naming conventions. You don't have to parent them to anything, they just have to exist. And now we should be able to just run Duik and let it work its magic. So auto rig. And Duik is not working. I may have to... Whoa. Yeah, let me restart real quick. There we go. Okay. Gonna select all. Hit the old auto rig. Full character. And then we're gonna start with our left leg, L thigh, calf, foot, toes, tiptoes, heel. Everything is right. It should populate in correctly. Just double check. Same with the right. Here's where I always run into trouble is with the arms. Like it wants to put my tiptoes in the arm still, even though they're already assigned. And for whatever reason, even though I right arm, it never puts the arm in. I always have to assign it. So I usually just bite the bullet, remove all, and self-assign them. I'm hoping in the update they're coming out with that things like this are fixed. Head, neck, torso, pelvis. I'm sure I missed an anchor point somewhere and then something's going to be broke. It's always the scary part. This Duik is doing its thing. We got our CC pelvis here. I never use this thing. I usually lock it first thing because as you see, if you move this, say we move the CC pelvis all the way down. See how your head and neck controls aren't coming with it? So now if you're moving your it's just weird. But when you lock that and just use C pelvis, see how those come along? I can already see this leg is bent the wrong way. Apologies if I'm not talking into the mic. I'm not really paying attention. Howdy, partner. This leg got a little bit bent. I'll honestly have to replace. They wouldn't already have their guns drawn. I'll have to dupe this hand and like put it over here. Oh, I wonder if I should do that now or if I can do it later. I can do it later. Let's give him a little bit of a spread leg because that's how you kind of be in like a little bit of a stance. This is looking awesome. He's like, he doesn't really need to move a lot for the type of animation. Let's give him some tests too. When you make these no-neck characters, they're kind of fun, but you can like only stretch them so far before they start to break. See, his pelvis is poking through here and whatnot. There's ways we could cover that up, but you can't make him. I like that. The other thing I like doing with these kind of characters sometimes is I'll actually grab the whole head and like you can make him hide down in himself. Ooh. Maybe his head pops off a little bit when he's surprised. The other cool thing is this hat. Since I've got the shadow sort of attached to the hat, so if the hat were to bounce up and down, the shadow goes with it. What we need to do is dupe the head. Gotta dupe the head. Take it all the way up to that shadow. Rename it. It's actually going to be called mask because that's what it's going to be. Alphamat it. Now, when we move the hat, the shadow disappears like it should. It looks so nice. I want to know. Whoops. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Barath Gouda. I want to know how to parent and unparent at certain points. For example, I'm doing a character animation. The character picks the ball, but when he's throwing, how to switch. Yeah, that's a tricky issue. Usually, I can try to show you a little example here. Let's make a ball. Get our anchor point. Yeah, so if I made a ball and I wanted this character to hold it, I would take my ball layer and I would probably parent it to the hand control that Duik made, our hand. So now it's parented. And if I was going to have this guy throw the ball or do something like that, the only way that you can really do it is to, right when he throws the ball, you'd have to make a second, you'd have to dupe your ball. It's like, I'm trying to do this really quick here. I mean, this is the only way. There's no like nice way of doing it. You can't keyframe parenting in After Effects. Unfortunately, once things are parented, they're either parented or they aren't. So the only way to really, this is gonna look like garbage, by the way. It's like once the ball goes up, the parented version of the ball would end, and then you'd have this other ball that was not parented to anything. This is going to be really slow and bad, and it would kind of go off. So that's obviously really slow and shitty. But that's how you do it. You'd have to make two versions of the ball. Am I going to try it with Duik 16? Duik 16 is the newest version that's still in beta, right? Or is it out already? Maybe I just haven't updated my Duik in a while. Because I know they're working on a thingamabob. A new, like, they're overhauling, like, the whole thing. Yeah, Duik 16. Yeah, they haven't... Once they come out with it, I'm definitely going to snatch it up. I've been seeing them post stuff. And, yeah, the whole interface and user interface is completely revamped. Are you going to try it? Yeah, alpha. Yeah. I haven't tried it yet. I'll probably wait till it drops or whatever, but I've been following it. Very cool stuff. I've been using Duik forever. I use rubber hose a little bit, and I like it for certain things, but I've been a Duik fan for a long time. Back when I was too poor to like afford any like real plugins, Duik was free. And like that's how I got into character animation. So that's why it's good to like support those free programs and pledge money when you can. Okay, what was I doing? Nothing really. I was just posing this guy. I think he can be even more squatted down. No problem, Barath, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Oh, you're testing the alpha version? That's sweet. I've seen, yeah. I follow them on Twitter, and they retweet stuff that people are doing, and yeah, where they just like tease stuff. I've been watching it, so it looks really cool. Nice. I'm very excited about that. I mean, this guy's pretty much done for what I want to do. I can show off the foot roll a little bit. Love how that always works. See, put him on his toes. What I've found recently, I used to animate the foot by, putting a position and a rotation keyframe on the foot. But if you've gone to the trouble of making toes, I would not put a keyframe on rotation and actually use these three for that. I would use heel for your general rotation. It just ends up with a smoother and more natural look to it. The only other thing I might play with is these fingers. I don't know how much I want to do. Let me see. Yeah, we'll do it. I think I'm going to give each finger its own. Joystick and slider. Just for the hell of it. So we're going to pop rotation keyframes on all the fingers. And I'm just going to get them to like spread out sort of. Position. Sometimes it's good to even go over it, you know, like break the hand a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go one keyframe forward. And then I'm going to bring everything in. This actually might look decent because I've had varying degrees of luck with hand rigs, but this one's so simple that it might. Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty good. That can even go further. Okay. And now we're going to go into our sliders and joysticks and sliders. And we're going to create a new slider. Pinky. So now you get this slider that can we can play with. Obviously, the other cool thing you can do with sliders and nulls is once you've made that your slider control, you can create UI. Whoa. Sorry, let me redo that. You can create UI. It makes it gigantic. And then we can have these little controllers that control the finger. The thing about that is once you start making a bunch of these UIs, things start to slow down more and more. I like making the robust rigs. I don't really have the setup technically to handle anything like that gets crazy. It just slows my whole workflow down. But if you just keep the controller, it works a little bit faster. It's more responsive. It looks cool to have the UI, but it's not totally necessary. So I'm going to do that with every finger, and as I go, I'm going to hide. I should have already hit a bunch of layers. But I didn't. Like CC pelvis because I don't really use it. Swatches we'll just keep at the top. Pelvis we don't need to see. Sometimes I need to call on the thighs and arms. Sometimes the head. I don't know if I'll need the ear. Cool. Hello from Morocco. Is this video going to be posted after the live is finished? Yeah. I always post these after I have a section in my profile called tutorials. It'll be up maybe later today, tomorrow, sometime soon. But yeah, I always post them after. I'm going to finish these fingers up. This one middle. Oh, no problem. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. I've done a few of these in the past. This is the most chat action I've ever had, so it's kind of fun. I normally just do these sort of for myself and mostly for people to watch afterwards. Sometimes they're more like abridged. Today I'm just sort of free balling it, as they say. Yep, this video will be posted. Just if you don't follow me already, just follow me. It'll go up shortly after this. Index, thumb, one more finger to do. Let's grab our keyframes and create a new slider. Call it thumb. Hide. Okay. Put keyframes on all these sliders that we just made. So now we can have like a hand opening and closing animation. Thanks, Hero. Yeah, it's actually something I'm working on for a show that I'm a part of in the next month. I'm making 3 short, like super short, 7-second little animations. Yeah, and I'm really liking the artwork too. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but sometimes I'll create stuff and I'll be like, oh, this is looking okay, but I'm like really enjoying the look of this. It's fun. So we got this hand open and close. And yeah, like I'll definitely be posting the shorts probably next month, because I probably won't post them until after the show starts. And the show's in April. But yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the color palette. I'm always like a fan of this green blue. This will always find its way into my color palette. That and pinks. Have you ever wanted to select keyframes from 4 different layers and then just hit copy and paste, but you know you can't because it'll make just After Effects just doesn't allow that? I got this thing called paste multiple keyframes. It's like, I can't remember if it was free or if it cost a few bucks, but this is like, if you're doing character animation, this little plugin is the most useful. It couldn't have been more than $10. I think it might have even been free. but it allows you to just grab keyframes from multiple different things and then paste them, so you don't have to like do it one by one. Yeah, I got Motion 2 too. I've used it. Duik 16 has it. Yeah, because I really don't only use Motion 2 sometimes for like, I think do it have it too. You guys are all talking about pasting stuff? Oh, I didn't know. Well, that's good that Duik 16 has it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I've just had this one for like a while. But it's good that like every sort of thing is putting it in there now. So I think I've got the hands going in a little too much, but I could already tell that's going to look funny. Give it some distance. Fuck. I started them out too bent now too. There we go. It's so subtle, but I love it so much. It needs to be probably a little faster too. Probably happen a couple times. I love doing stuff like that. Let's look at it in the context of the full thing. That looks pretty sweet. I'm obviously going to add some other small stuff. Like him moving up and down slightly. Mustache twitches are a must. I'll definitely have those twitching a little bit. There's sort of like the story behind all of these 3 pieces I'm working on is they each have like a crazy twist at the end. Something unexpected happens. So the ending, he'll probably get crazy surprised and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to get that deep into the animation today. Probably going to call it here in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to, I had some extra time and wanted to rig a guy, and I had to rig this guy up, so glad some people stopped by and joined me for the process. It's a good start. It's a good start. I can't wait to finish it. But I'm probably going to call it for now, guys. You can find this video. I'll post this video soon. Fridge from the 20th century. Yeah, exactly. Like there's just like things that you wouldn't even expect happen. That's the whole point. So yeah, look for this in the future and the tutorials, and hopefully I'll have time to do some more in the future as I work through these, but we'll see. No promises. But yeah, just stay tuned. All right, I'll see you guys around.